On the offensive side of the ball, here are the O's presented by FedEx. Julie Donaldson, Santana Moss, and we're having a little fun with some comparisons on players and kind of numbers, stats, strength, speed. So here we go. If we're going to go into offense, we got to start with the receivers. Terry McLaurin, his reception yards against Steven Sims Jr. return yards. And if you look at those numbers last year, it was pretty close. 919 for McLaurin, 845 for Sims Jr. Now, I think you have to consider maybe Sims Jr. has a little bit more action in the offense as a receiver. Does that take away at all from his receiving yards? So where are you going, Santana?
I'm gonna go with Terry. I think Terry is gonna be primed to have one of those big seasons this year. He almost had 1,000 yards last year. I'm pretty sure they're gonna move him around a lot this year, knowing that folks are going to come out with, have a target on him, making sure that they can stop him. So I see him reaching that 1,000 yards plateau this year. But you have to understand too, Sims Jr. wasn't allowed to do punt return until late. So I think combined kickoff and punt return, he might see 1,000 yards also. These guys might be in a race to see who get the 1,000 yards fast.
And if he has more activity again in the offense. They said last year they just used him basically in certain packages in the slot, and now coach has him lining up in a lot of different positions, but they also know that they are young, so we'll have to see how it does unfold. Again, pads are on, so we'll get to see a little bit more how those matchups go. I would go McLaurin as well. If we are talking about Terry, well, he is a receiver and a man that is wise beyond his years, and you love talking with him because he's such a smart player and such a mature man as well. Here is Terry.
I think it's unpredictability. I think it's those two terms mainly, and just tempo as well. I feel like when you're on offense, you should be dictating the tempo. You should decide when you guys get up to the line, when you're snapping the play, when you're calling audibles or running motions and things like that. And I feel like, play action on first downs, running on downs you may not think you're supposed to be running on. Just I think that Coach Turner does a great job of keeping that versatility and that unpredictability so far in practice, and we haven't even gone against the defense yet. So I'm really excited to see his style of play calling and how it works against our defense and then how it works in the game. But just that attack mindset, it starts up front, the way we run the ball with obviously AP and the group of guys that we have with our offensive line, and then our skill players on the outside making plays. And I feel like that really opens up a offense, because then you can't key on one thing or the other. And as far as the defensive side of the ball, I mean, like I said, the way our defensive line is touted right now, I feel like they really have could pose a really big problem for a lot of teams if they're on that attack mindset, which I know they are so far. And the guys behind them are doing a great job of playing off of them and learning as well. So just the physicality and the attack mindset is what Coach Rivera has been preaching so far.
That is one of the things that Turner is stressing, is he wants it up tempo. He wants it moving fast. As a receiver, do you like when things are kind of moving quickly?
Yes, I love it. I mean, honestly, when I played the position, I always loved to be one of those guys that was moved around so we can keep guys guessing as well, because I didn't want to be one of those guys that predominantly you're going to see me on this side and you're going to see this guy on that side. I like to be the guy inside, outside. Line me up in the backfield if you have to, but I'm sure that they're going to do a lot of that stuff with Terry, making sure that he can always have a chance to get open.
Is that a way, because you have Terry McLaurin and then it's kind of like wide open to see who else is going to be the major playmakers outside of him. If you go that up tempo, is that a way to maybe disguise talent, kind of saying if you don't have star wide receivers, a star tight end, a star running back? Is it a way to kind of say we can switch it up a lot and kind of cover that a little?
Not necessarily, because that can honestly hinder you from those guys who are not ready to be in those situations. You want to make sure everybody's on the field, they are ready to go out there and be fast and be in those moments and put in those situations where they can think fast and not have to think and go out there and produce. So, no, it can hurt you more than it can help you.
Okay. Well, if we're talking about the young guys, the rookies, how they are going to be involved in Scott Turner's offense and be playmakers, well, you've got to talk about Antonio Gandy Golden, AGG, or Antonio Gibson, a battle of the Antonios. Who's going to be more productive?
It's a toss-up, honestly. I think Antonio Gibson will be the guy that be all our favorites, just knowing that he's going to be a dual threat. He can be, used in the backfield and on the outside. I'm not sure what they have schemed up for him yet, also with all the other guys that he have in front of him, so it's a toss-up. AGG, he can surprise us all and say, hey, this door is wide open. We don't have a second wide out here. I have the height, I have the agility, I have the ability. So he might could surprise us all and say he's the guy that's going to be leaning on heavily to be that second guy. So I don't know. When you rookies, you never know what to expect from a rookie. So I'm not going to count any guy out.
AGG, yes, tall, physical. They want to use him, especially in the red zone. That has been an area this team has struggled as of late. They were hoping he would compete with Kelvin Harmon for that.
Yeah.
When I was chatting with him, he said Cam Sims has really been helping him because he's a player he can kind of relate to with just their body builds the same and kind of the same approach as well. Antonio Gibson, I would go for him for more productive. I know they have they want to rely on him a lot in this game, in the running game, in the receiving game, catching out the backfield. It's kind of a competition of which one is he going to spend more time with as well. But they like the opportunities that we'll have with him. Now, if we're going to say who is most likely to secure a roster spot, I'll go to your guy, Cam Sims. I know you're big on him, or Trey Quinn. Quinn has a couple touchdowns. Cam Sims has spent a lot of time, unfortunately, injured. He was on IR with the ankle. He's made the team, didn't make the team. Played 7 games, had a couple, 3 catches. But he's somebody that I think hasn't really tapped into his potential, and you'd like to be able to see him be productive.
Yeah, he has to show these coaches that he can be used and be reliable. Right now, I'm leaning with him just because I like him. But I think also because he can bring so much, to this core with his size and with his ability. But then you have to look at Trey Quinn. If he can be one of those guys that we can lean on in a slot, you can't just have one guy that can play that position. So he has a great chance also. We're looking for wideouts to be able to, lean on. We need more than just 3 guys that we can lean on. So both of those guys have a shot.